Okay, self-driving cars. I think it's a great idea.
You just saw Inez Rosales showed you that accident on the Gowanus, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't a self-driving car.
No, but suppose that this thing becomes a reality. How do you know that's not going to happen all the time?
So you're asking, is it safe?
I am asking if it's safe.
There's a guy here who has the answer. You might know him. His name's Shelly Palmer. Good morning to you.
Hey, Shell.
Good morning.
So is it safe?
Look, well, is it safe?
Let's just put it all on you, Shell.
It is going to be actually significantly safer than you driving. Today, it's in its infancy, and all of us have to train our cars. And what that means is, as self-driving cars start to appear and you start to buy them, they're not going to be in self-driving mode all of the time, right? They're going to be in self-driving mode when they do things like go on the highway in adaptive cruise control. And now, like Cadillac is just announcing a new feature where they're having Super Cruise, where if you're on a highway, and it's a very specific kind of highway with a designated on-ramp and off-ramp, it'll cruise by itself at highway speed, as long as you're looking and paying attention. So what has to happen is the cars need to be trained, and the cars need 275 million, 300 million miles of driving to be fully trained. And they can train in shadow mode, so while you're driving them in normal mode, they will learn while you're driving, and they'll compare your decisions to the decisions that it would make self-driving. And ultimately, they're called training sets. It's a machine learning training set, are going to be better than we are. At the beginning, they're not going to be better than we are. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. As we get these adaptive cruise control devices and collision avoidance devices put in the cars, we're going to have safer roads, and that's super important. Over 38,000 people were killed in cars in 2015, and over 4 million people were very seriously injured. So just something like collision avoidance, which is a beginning of a type of autonomy where the car won't have a front-end, rear-end collision because it just won't allow itself to crash. That's super safe, and a lot of lives will be saved and a lot of injuries will be prevented. And so as the cars start to drive, we will have to adapt to them. Now, here's the big question. We have to define safety. What does that mean? And what's safer? Because people drive drunk, people drive tired, people drive in every condition because we drive in every condition. The automatic cars or self-driving cars won't ever be drunk, right? And people can say, well, computers are imperfect and there'll be glitches. It's like, people have glitches. So what is safe? What's the benchmark where we'll say this is safer than a human driver? And I think we're a few years away from that.
But Shell, I mean, is this going to create a false sense of security? If someone's like had too much to drink, oh, I'm gonna be all right. My car's going to get me there. This car's going to be safe.
Antwan, at a certain point in time, that is going to be true. At the very beginning, you have to have your eyes on the road, your hands on the wheel, and you in the car have to do what you always did. And ultimately, we will know because we'll have a very good definition of safety. And I think over time, this isn't going to happen tomorrow, but generally, the cars are going to be safer than people driving. I'll make a prediction. Sometime after 5 years from now, but before 10 years from now, if you're under 25 or over 65, you're going to need a special permit to drive a car because the cars will drive more safely than you can.
And quickly, you told us that there is a car company. Is it Chrysler or GM that's going to put a car on the market pretty soon, like this?
No, well, yeah. GM has Cadillac. It's coming out with Super Cruise, but every car has some kind of autonomy now or assisted driving, and don't be afraid of those. And also, drive because you're driving. Like, don't let the car do things you don't think it can.
I don't think he's convinced, but thanks,
No, but we'll get you there.
Give me a horse and buggy.
We get. Thanks, Shelly.